Hello, this is Matt Ingram with the review of the results from Exam 3, the third and final exam for RPOS 316 in summer 2014. Again, just as we have reviewed before with the previous two exams, using some of the descriptive statistics and the commands in R that we've learned, this slide shows some measures of central tendency and dispersion for the scores on Exam 3. Again, this takes into account all three parts of Exam 3. There were three parts A, B, and C. And these measures consider all three parts together. So the average score of the exam, the arithmetic average, the mean, was 83.43, sort of a B. The median was also a B. They're very close together. So if you were thinking about sort of how far away the mean was from the median, it's lower but not much lower. So you could say that the distribution has little skew, or maybe, if any, it's slightly negative. But the main takeaway here is that the average score was a B, and the most frequent score was also a B. In terms of dispersion, the maximum score was 100%. There were 550 points available, and one person scored a perfect 550 for 100%. Thus, there is no curve on Exam 3. The lowest score was 51.29%. Here is a visual depiction of the distribution of the scores, histogram, which is also familiar to us from working in R. Pollock uses the weighted histogram command, wtd.hist. You could also use simply hist. And here you see that visual representation of the measures of central tendency and distribution that or dispersion rather, that we've just seen. The lowest score is on the left, the highest score is on the right, and you see that most folks in the class scored from a B- to a perfect score. Here are some graphs plotting the score on Exam 3 on the y-axis. So this Exam 3, your percentage, 100% and 51%, showing the dispersion of the score on the y-axis. And on the x-axis, the next few slides are going to show a variety of other work that we've already done in class, essentially trying to see if there's any association between the other sections of the class and the score on Exam 3. So in this particular slide, we see homework average. This is just the chapter exercises either in EPA or in the back of the R workbook. And you see that there's a fairly linear relationship, much stronger than we've seen before with Exam 1 or Exam 2, between doing well on the homework and then doing well on Exam 3. If we just look at the discussions, it's not quite as tight. Again, discussion scores are on the x-axis, on the horizontal axis, and your score on Exam 3 is on the vertical y-axis. There's one outlier here. Someone was doing not very well on the discussion scores, but got an A on Exam 3. If we remove that one outlier, there is still a fairly linear relationship, what we would expect, right? That as you go from doing well on the homework, you would also do well on Exam 3. This slide combines both the homework exercises and the discussions into a single composite average. And now we see, again, sort of a stronger association, right? Moving from the lower left to the upper right, as you sort of a hypothetical student that was doing well in homeworks and discussions on average was going to also be doing well on exam 3. Now, how well do previous exams predict performance on exam 3? So here's exam 1 now on the horizontal axis and exam 3 on the vertical axis. Again, we see a fairly decent linear relationship moving from the lower left to the upper right. We could do the same thing with exam 2, which is here. And again, we see that if you did well on exam 2, you were likely to do well on exam 3. You were doing well on exam 3. So if we consider all the other sections of the course, the homework exercises, the discussions, exam 1, exam 2, if you were doing well in each one of those other areas of the class or other stages of the class, you were likely to do well on exam 3. Just some final comments regarding the curved nature of grading. For exam 1, the maximum was 356 instead of 370. So if you're going back and looking at your scores, just keep in mind that your percentage is being calculated with a denominator, a maximum score of 356. For exam 2, it was 366 instead of 400. And sorry, this says exam 4, but it's really exam 3. For exam 3, there was no curve since somebody got all 550 points from exam 3. So that's it for exam 3. Congratulations on finishing the class, and I hope you enjoy the summer. There's one other video where I just review the distribution of the final full total course grade. But otherwise, I enjoyed having you, and enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you.